안녕하세요, 여러분. Welcome to KSTYLEyo. Today's live streaming is also learning Korean through Korean article. I set up my microphone. Actually, I didn't. My husband did because I have a lot of noisy fan going on in my laptop. So he kind of set up a better microphone, but I'm not sure if you can hear me well. Let me know if you cannot hear me as well as before, then maybe I can just unplug it. But this microphone should be more professional. So as you know, article is an amazing way to learn Korean structure. If you are stuck with improving Korean sentence structures and learning about how to place words, Korean words, like a verb, subject and object, things like that, and conjunction, then article is a really great way to learn Korean. So come on in, 들어오세요. 여러분 다 들어오십시오. Okay. So I have picked 4 sentences today, just like yesterday. Hi, Rachel. 오늘 하루 잘 보내고 계시나요? You're always here. That's good. Consistency, right? 그러면 이 아르크를 시작하겠습니다. Why Europeans drink beer and wine on a daily basis. So Europe is the country for beer and wine. This article is not necessary. I don't think it's reporter's article. It seems more like essay type of article. You can find the link in the description box as well. 유럽에서 오신 분 계세요? Hello, Shopee. Welcome. 유럽에서 오신 분 아니면 유럽으로 여행하신 분. Those of you who live in Europe or who've been to Europe probably know how popular or how common it is to find beer and wine. But for me, I never been. But that's what I hear. Wine is cheaper than water. And in this article, they're going to talk about why that is. So 독일이 이렇게 here. This is the first sentence here. But before this sentence, this person who wrote this article is saying that a few years ago, the person was in Germany and bought a can of beer. And at that time, the price was 0.29 euro, which is like under 400 won in Korean won, which is super cheap. It's like 40 cents. 40 cents in American at that time. Probably it's a lot more now because of inflation, but still very cheap. 이거 읽어볼게요. 독일이 이렇게 맥주가 저렴한 이유는 여러 가지가 있지만 한국과 가장 큰 차이는 바로 주세가 거의 붙지 않는다는 점이다. Hard time here. Okay. How about now, Rachel? Is it better to hear me? I put the microphone closer to me. If it is still not loud enough, I'm gonna change to something else. 다시 읽어볼게요. 독일이 이렇게 맥주가 저렴한 이유에 여러 가지가 있지만 한국과 가장 큰 차이는 바로 주세가 거의 붙지 않는다는 점이다. Is the sound better, Rachel? Okay, then I'm gonna change it. Okay, so I'm gonna is this better? Okay, I think I changed back to whatever it was before. Okay. Thank you so much for letting me know. So I'm reading this part. 독일이 이렇게 맥주가 저렴한 이유에 여러 가지가 있지만 한국과 가장 큰 차이는 바로 주세가 거의 붙지 않는다는 점이다. 천천히 다시 읽어볼게요. 독일이 이렇게 맥주가 저렴한 이유에 여러 가지가 있지만 한국과 가장 큰 차이는 바로 주세가 거의 붙지 않는다는 점이다. 그러면 동사를 찾아보세요. Those of you who are in the live for the first time, subject is orange color, object pink, verb blue, M is miscellaneous work green. 동사는 verb. 동사가 어디 있습니까? If you know the answer, type it in the live chat. 동사는 마지막에 있죠. 이다. be verb. be. 그렇다면 점 object noun. This is the object, right? Which is point or aspect. This could be a point literally for facial freckle as well. 얼굴점, facial freckle, or 점. 점 literally just basic point. That could be also point, 점. In this case, you can interpret it as aspect. 그렇다면, what is the aspect? Then we need to find the subject. 주어. I see one particle here, 독일이. So, 웃는 이가 is the subject particle. I see 독일이. 독일 is Germany. 맥주가. I see another subject particle. Beer. 맥주. 여러 가지가 있지만 another subject. Various sorts. This is sorts. And another one. 가장 큰 차이는. There are so many subject particles. Big, most big. In English, you say biggest. Korean, we always use 가장, most big. 차이는 difference. So biggest difference. 그럼 또 어디 있어요? 하나 더 있어요. 여기. 주세. 주세가 뭔지 알아요? 주 is related to Chinese symbol that means alcohol. 주. 세 is from 세금. Tax. So alcohol tax. Alcohol. Is that how you say? Alcohol tax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 다섯 군데 주어가 있네요. So we have to really break it down. Why there are so many subjects? Maybe there is a conjunction. Oh. So Germany is the aspect. Beer is the aspect. Or various sorts is the aspect. Biggest difference is the aspect. Alcohol tax is the aspect. You can guess whatever it is. But let's figure out if there is any conjunction, verb conjunction that connects clause to clause. 맞춰보세요. 이거 보이시나요? 지만. But conjunction. Which means this is a verb. 있다. 있다 verb. To have. There is, there are. Right? Or exist. But you cannot have an object with this verb. I probably go with there are because this subject is multiple. 과 is also a conjunction, but this is more like conjunction to connect noun. So in this case, biggest difference with Korea. Biggest difference with Korea. This is Korea. 한국. 그렇다면, there are various sorts. There are various sorts. So I think we know that this subject may be related to this verb. Do you guys see any other verb? Maybe verb, adjective. Verb, adjective. Then we're gonna find out which subject noun is related to that verb. I see one here, verb adjective, 저렴한, describing 이유. 저렴하다, to be affordable. Beer is affordable, or Germany is affordable. I think it's beer. These two go hand in hand. These two go hand in hand. Okay? So I think we kind of figure out a couple of subjects here. Let's start from 독일이. Let's find out the rest of it together. 독일이 이렇게 맥주가 저렴한 이유에 여러 가지가 있지만 독일 I see. Maybe this could be interpreted as has. 독일 has various sorts to the reason. In English, you're gonna say 독일 has various reasons. In Korean structure here, 독일 has various sorts to the reason. What reason? Beer is affordable like this. This is like this. 이렇게. When there is a verb, 있다, you may also see two subject nouns because, like I mentioned, 있다 verb cannot have an object. In English, this is an object. In Korean, this has to be subject. Germany has various sorts. To the reason. Why? Beer is affordable like this. So this is the adjective clause describing 이유. 이유 is reason, right? Reason. To the reason. But what? Biggest difference with South Korea? 바로. I'm gonna interpret it as that is. That is. Biggest difference with South Korea is the aspect of what? 주세 거의 붙지 않는다는 점이다. 거의 almost. 붙다. Here is the verb. 붙지 않다. This is negation. 않는다는 점. This is quotation describing 점, right? So, 붙다. What's the verb here? 붙다. If you look up this verb in dictionary, it comes up as stick. 너 옷에 뭐가 붙었어. You have something stick to your clothes. So you have something on your clothes. 붙다. Okay? 밥이 붙다. Rice stick together, right? 밥이 같이 붙었어요. 주세가 붙다. I call tax sticks. What's that mean? In this case, you may interpret it as to be included. 세금이 붙다. Tax sticks to the final cost. So tax gets included into the cost. 주세. I call tax is included. But in this case, not included. Almost not included. Equals to barely included in English, right? So the biggest difference with South Korea, that is. But it's kind of awkward to include that. Biggest difference with South Korea is the aspect that I call tax is not included almost. 바로, maybe I'm not gonna even interpret. It's a bit awkward in English. This is already a long sentence, but second one is a bit easier. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Germany has various sorts. To the reason why beer is affordable like this. But biggest difference with South Korea is the aspect that tax is not almost included. Tax is not included almost. 이해하세요? 독일에 사시는 분 계세요? 아니면 유럽에? So tax is not there. Almost not there. That's why the beer is so cheap. Second one. And here it says 그들에게 맥주는 술이 아닌 생활 속의 음료로서 생각하기 때문. They're thinking that beer is just like regular beverage, daily basis of beverage, not alcohol. And then 다음 문장은 이겁니다. 맥주 및 와인은 술이라고 생각을 잘 안 하기 때문이다. 맥주 및 와인은 술이라고 생각을 잘 안 하기 때문이다. 천천히 읽어볼게요. Read together. 천천히. 맥주 및 와인은 술이라고 생각을 잘 안 하기 때문이다. 그러면 동사가 뭡니까? 동사는 이다죠. 이다. beaver. 그렇다면 목적어는 때문입니다. cause. So this is a grammar actually. We're gonna go through this a lot in this article actually. 때문이다. Because it's because of. And you need a noun, which is this verb became a noun. Right? It's because of noun. That's why you see 기 here. Verb plus 기 becomes noun. So this verb 하다. Let's start with the first one. You guys are wondering, 밑이 뭐예요? 밑. 맥주 밑. I don't say meat, right? 맥주 밑. 와인은. This is normally used in article. It's not common in speaking format. This is also means and, as well as. Beer, as well as wine. 술이라고. 술, alcohol. 이라고 생각하다. This is beaver, 라고, quotation. So here is a bit complicated because they split it into object noun plus do. Here, 생각을 하다. Okay, 생각 is a thought. 그쵸? 그런데 normally Korean people, you can also say 생각하다 as a verb. To think. 생각하다. But sometimes 하다 verb is used with a noun. Then you can split. 생각을 하다. You may also see this pattern. 생각하다, to think, becomes 생각을 하다, do, thought. That means the same thing. I think they might have split into this way because they wanted to sneak in this part. 잘 안. Well, negation. Not. Right? So when you want to add negation between noun plus 하다, that they tend to split. 공부하다, to study. 안 공부하다, not study. But this is not as common to say as 공부 안 하다. You split 공부하다 and then add an in between. 공부 안 하다. Okay, but you can just think of this part as think. Think that what? Beer and wine is the alcohol. So let's go back. It's because probably main subject for think is European. Europeans does not think well. Does not think well that beer and wine is the alcohol. But you guys find that it's a bit awkward when I say well. Does not think well. Well, 잘 can be also interpreted as often, based on the context. For example, 저는 백화점에 잘 가요. I go to department store well. Why would I say that? I go to department store well. 저는 백화점에 잘 가요. Meaning, I go there often. Also interpreted, I like shopping because I go there all the time. 잘 가요. Here, 생각을 잘 안 해요. Does not think that way often. What way? Beer and wine is the alcohol. 맥주 및 와인은 술이라고 생각을 잘 안 하기 때문이다. It's because Europeans does not think often that beer and wine is the alcohol. As you know, I already mentioned, this is the part that became a noun by adding 기. Because this structure needs a noun here. We're gonna have more sentences. 2 more sentences are the similar structure. So if you're still confused, we're gonna practice more. 그러면 3번으로 갈게요. And just so you know, the next sentence they're saying that what they really think of alcohol in Europe is whiskey. Okay, like whiskey, hard liquor. Those were the ones they think of as alcohol. 그러면 다음 문장은 여기 있습니다. 사실은 2문장을 같이 넣었어요. Actually, 2 sentences here. 유럽인은 물을 많이 마시지 않고 왜 맥주 및 와인으로 대체했을까? 유럽은 물에 석회질이 많았기 때문이다. 유럽인은 물을 많이 마시지 않고 왜 맥주 및 와인으로 대체했을까? 유럽은 물에 석회질이 많았기 때문이다. 다시 한 번 더 천천히 읽을게요. Read together. Slowly. 유럽인은 물을 많이 마시지 않고 왜 맥주 및 와인으로 대체했을까? 유럽은 물의 석회질이 많았기 때문이다. 그러면 first sentence here 주어가 뭡니까? 주어는 마지막에 있죠? 대체했을까? But 을까 here is actually rhetorical question. When it's used as a real question, 까, 을까, this is suggestion to somebody. Shall we do it? Should we do it? But in this case, this is not asking to somebody. It's talking to themselves. So rhetorical. So main verb is 대체하다. 대체하다. Replace. 대체하다. Replace. 오케이. 그러면 주어는 여기 있죠? 유럽인. Europeans. Europeans 물을 많이 마시지 않고 conjunction이 보이죠? conjunction here. go and 그렇다면 이게 동사예요. 지안 already talked about negation. not. 마시다 is drink. sorry. So Europeans does not drink what? 물을. water. 저는 물이 필요해요, 지금. 목이 마릅니다. Europeans does not drink water a lot. 많이? a lot. H is silent. 많이. 많이. 왜? Why? 맥주 및 와인으로 대체했을까? Why did what? This is past tense. Why did Europeans replace what? Water to beer and wine. Beer and wine. Here, this is as, by, with. In this case, I interpret it as to. Because in English, you probably use to with the verb replace. Replace to, right? Or do you say replace with? Whichever makes sense to you guys. Europeans does not drink water a lot. And why did they? Did the Europeans replace the water to beer and wine? Rhetorical. Why did they do that? 유럽은 물에 석회질이 많았기 때문이다. Oh, Jess. Sewer system, no sewer system, I see. Actually, my husband said the same thing. They didn't have sewer system back in the day. That's why they drank that more so. But in this article, they don't talk about sewer system. Actually, they talk about something else. 유럽은 물에 석회질이 많았기 때문이다. So this is the format we just talked about. 때문이다. Be verb, cause. Because of. It's because of, right? Of, you need a noun. That's why you have a noun here. 기 makes the verb into a noun. Okay? So verb here is 많다. To be a lot. To be a lot. Okay? 유럽은 subject, 석회질이 another subject. 석회질이 뭔지 알아요? 찾아보세요. 석회. I pronounce it as 석회, 석회질. Sounds like K. 석회질. So Europe, as for Europe, I think, as for Europe, there are what? There are a lot of 석회질 in water. In water. There are a lot of 석회질. That's the reason why they drank wine, beer and wine. If you look up the word 석회질, this is compounds of calcium. It's becoming more scientific article here, right? So 석회질 is compounds of calcium. Apparently, compounds of calciums happen where there are a lot of limestone, lime, rich in lime. I don't know more to that, but when the region, the ground has a lot of lime underneath, then water becomes really enriched of calcium, compounds of calcium. For us, doctors tell you to drink milk, or I mean maybe that's like kind of old saying, I don't know, but we need to have calcium. I don't know if it's the same thing, but when there is too much calcium, it's not good, I guess. I knew a girl from maybe 7 years ago. She had so much calcium underneath in her body. Actually, her vein was like a bumpy. And I asked her why her vein was so bumpy. I can see her bumps everywhere. She said she got too much calcium in her body. So, 유럽은 물에 석회질이 많았기 때문이다. This is past tense. It's because in Europe, as for Europe, there were a lot of calcium in water. Compounds of calcium. That's why they drank beer and wine. But as well as what Jess said because they also didn't have sewer system. Probably that's another reason. But they go a little bit deeper in the next sentence. And they also talk about 유럽에는 석회수가 많은 이유는 지질학적 특성이다. It's a trait. What kind of trait? Geographical trait. And then this part is the one. So we're gonna practice 때문이다 again. 유럽 지역의 상당수가 지라기, 백악기 시대에는 땅이 아닌 바다였기 때문이다. 유럽 지역의 상당수가 지라기, 백악기 시대에는 땅이 아닌 바다였기 때문이다. 다시 한번 천천히 읽을게요. 같이 읽어보세요. 유럽 지역의 상당수가 지라기, 백악기 시대에는 땅이 아닌 바다였기 때문이다. 때문이다 또 있어요 여기. 이다, 때문, cause. So because of, it's because of. Noun. You need a noun. 엿기. So 엿 is actually the verb. Be verb 이다 became past tense. Was. Meaning this is the object for this verb. Was what? The ocean. Was the ocean. Okay. So first of all, 유럽 지역의 상당수가 this is the subject. 상당수 considerable amount. 상당 considerable 수 number considerable not considerable it's considerate amount. Considerate amount. Considerate amount of 유럽 지역. European region. Considerate amount of European region. 지옥이 아니에요. 지역. 지옥은 hell. 쥐라기 백악기 시대에는 쥐라기. If you hear that, do you guys think of some English word here? 쥐라기. Because it's from English word. 쥐라기. 백악기. 시대에는 time. This is some kind of time period. Oh, considerable was actually okay. Not considerate, right? It's considerable. Okay. Bull. BL. Considerable. 쥐라기 is the Jurassic. 백악, you know the movie Jurassic Park? It's the same. Jurassic. So here 백악기. I never learned this word before. I'm gonna have to look in my note. Cretaceous. 백악기 is Cretaceous. These periods in the past, millions of years ago. Time particle S4. S4 in the times, what times? Jurassic time and Cretaceous time. 땅이 아닌 ground. 아닌, 아니다. To be not became an adjective describing 바다. Okay? This is 아니다. To be not. So we went through all the words. What's they mean? So they're talking about the reason for the previous sentence. They mention about the too much calcium in water. Why? Considerable amount of European region was the ocean, which is not a ground, in Jurassic and Cretaceous period. It's because. 다시 읽을게요. It's because that considerable amount of European region was the ocean, not the ground, in Jurassic and Cretaceous times, which is millions of years ago. Have you guys ever been to the is it death water? Not death water. Bad water. Actually, I went there 2 years ago. Bad water. 캘리포니아의 Death Valley, 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 Death Valley 그쪽에 배드워터라는 곳이 있어요. 제가 처음으로 캘리포니아에 엄마랑 만나서 같이 여행을 했어요. 배드워터에 가면은 땅이 다 소금이에요. I think the ground itself was all salt. So back in the day it used to be water, but now it's the ground. It's very interesting. Yeah, that's Bali. Yeah. It's super hot. It's insane. You just walk. You cannot go in further. It's so hot there. But beautiful. But same thing, sometimes we don't know if this place, the way we live, walk on every day, used to be something else. Like, it's very fascinating. 그렇기 때문에 유럽 사람들은 맥주와 와인을 더 많이 마셔요. So this article was very informative for me and interesting because you're learning some information at the same time. So let me know if in your country it's the same thing. Like beer and wine is actually cheaper than water itself. In Korea, soju is pretty cheap. It's not that expensive. I don't know how much it is now. Maybe it is like $2 in US if you buy a bottle of soju. And you can buy anywhere. In Canada, where I live, has a lot of restrictions. Only the recent time that they bring the alcohol into the grocery stores. Before that, you have to go to designated stores like LCBO or beer store. But nowadays, they have some beers and wines inside the grocery stores. But in Korea, you can find alcohol everywhere. I remember when I was kid as in underage, which is not good. I don't advise anyone to buy alcohol underage. But even me as an underage, I think I was in middle school, maybe early high school. I went to convenience store, corner store in the neighborhood with my friend and bought the bottle of soju. And very cheap. Even in restaurants, it's like very cheap. But I don't know how much it is now, but it's everywhere. And in Insadong, I don't know if you ever been to Insadong in Seoul. I have a picture somewhere, but on the street vendor sells cocktails on the street. And obviously, foreigners go to Insadong because they have a lot of souvenirs. So if you ever visit South Korea and Seoul, then I recommend you to go to Insadong because they have a lot of cool stuff. Insadong. This is inside Seoul. If you want to buy souvenirs, they have hanbok, and all kinds of traditional gears, things like that. And food, street food as well. So that's it guys for today's lesson. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and share this video with your friends who are learning Korean as well. So next weekend as well, we're gonna have live streaming at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Then I see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of Sunday. 감사합니다.